Hey gang, today we're going to do a dirty Texas rake for a Texas shuffle. And I'm going to stay kind of a little bit farther back so you can see both the left hand and the right hand on this one. I guess first I'll show you kind of what we're trying to aim for. And then I want to give you just a few tips on how at least I try to get there. I don't claim to have it down perfectly by any means. All right, so anyway, let's start out with this. All right, so that's the basic technique right there. And you can hear the hard part isn't really the left hand at all. It's mostly with the right hand that I find the difficult part. And then with the left hand, we'll see what actually is kind of difficult after a while. But you can see what I'm doing here is I'm wrapping my thumb, and I'm really just trying to deaden the string. I'm not trying to hit any string, so it's easier to do a thumb wrap than to the real Jimi Hendrix type of thing. So that's not so bad. The key to this one, at least for me, is the right hand sort of shuffle beat. So it's just basically if we just kind of deaden all the strings on the left hand, this is what we're aiming for. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can hear that it's syncopated, right? It's not. It's syncopated. It's da 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 da. So it's like that. Okay, so that's the first part that we have to get down 100%. You got to get that sort of just that train rush rhythm, just like it's clockwork. Can't have any break in that, all right? And it's got to run internally in your head too, because eventually we'll do licks like this. And you got to break back into it every time you stop, right? So internally you still have to have it going in your head so that you've got that. Okay, with the left hand, basically, now you can play this over a G major or a G minor. Doesn't matter. So Stevie Ray Vaughan, Cold Shot, basically this is it. He plays it in A, I think. Of course, he tunes down a half step, so it's really A flat, but whatever. It doesn't matter where you play it. It's the same sort of lick. So you can play it over a G minor blues or a G major blues. Either one works. And so what we're going to do is we're going to keep that rush going. And we're going to play sort of just between, on the fourth string, between the fifth and the third right here. So the fifth is the root of G, and the third is an F, which is the flatted seventh of G. And you can see that this fits into the minor pentatonic scale, right? Not going to go through that blues box, but we all see it. And just sometimes what I'm playing then is so I'm playing a double stop here, which is on the second and third strings. I'm playing the fifth, right? And then second and third strings I'm playing the third. And I'm giving that some vibrato and letting that hang a little bit. So every once in a while I'm playing that. So as you're practicing this, you should try that rhythm, and you should try just hitting a single note even, or just these two notes on the fourth over and over. 3, 4. So you can hit that all the time. Now, what I try and do is I kind of try and really kind of nail those, at least internally in my head. I try and hit them a little bit harder than I normally would, just so I'm hitting that and not emphasizing the other strings on that. Okay? Now, when you play this, you're going to have to break your train shuffle, right? So internally, you have to keep that going. Right? So internally, you have to keep that shuffle going, and that's what happens. The other lick that I'm playing here is this right here. And that's just also sort of standard Texas blues. Here I'm playing a double stop where I'm kind of pulling up from this blues position and going up on the 3rd string, the 7th, on the 2nd string, the 6th, giving that lots of vibrato, letting it hang. And then when I come down, I'm really pulling that down quickly. And that's kind of typical of that Texas blues sort of style too, is pulling it down quickly and pulling off. All right. The only other thing I did was I did a typical Stevie lick, and I'll try to do this maybe in a separate video. I love this sort of... So he used to do that in, I think you can hear it in Cold Shot that he did it, but this is just fingering a G minor chord and really just playing on the 2nd and 3rd strings like we're doing all these double stops and hammering on to the 5th fret like this, right? Which is, I guess, the 4th. And then raking back, and as you rake back to this, right here, you pull it off, you hit it, you pick it, and very quickly pull it off to here, and then play the G note here. And if you time it right, it takes a little practice, but if you time it right, you get that rake, and you really just hit that note just in time. Nice little lick. We'll do that some other time, but you can just practice on, I think to start out, you just want to practice on hitting that root in that minor 7th, right? So the root is on the 4th string, 5th fret, minor 7th is on the 4th string, 3rd fret, that's the F and the G. The G is the root, F is the flatted 7th. That's why it's the minor 7th, okay? And that's it. And try and get that rhythm, just keep going. When you're practicing this, probably just try the rhythm for the longest times, and then try and hit those the root and the flatted 7th. So. That kind of stuff. All right, hope you found this helpful. Hope you dug it, and we'll see you on down the road.